So let's have a little talk about fear, okay, and how sometimes oppositional defiance creates fear, but sometimes it's also like a sort of like a means by which to do rotations until the source of the fear is ideologically removed. Or the gaslighting method to overcome anxiety. Whew, we're in a bit of a doozy. It could be one way of looking at the geopolitical situation we're in. Are we being gaslit by something until we overcome collective fears? It is possible to experience fears that are not your own. That's what the media usually does to people. That's what religion does to people. If you're being fair about it, what your real fears are likely that concern your moment to moment and day to day life. So you're probably afraid of tripping over that step. You should probably make sure that it's probably properly tiled and got a little strip on it, so a bit of rubber so it doesn't get slippery. Watch where you're going, sort of thing. Being afraid of that's probably reasonable. It is actually in your environment in that particular example, so fair enough. So things like that. Other fears that might be reasonable are things that are from your own personal background and life. So you've got a bit of the old if you've got a bit of the old PTSD going on. You might have some lingering fears and phobias associated with some drama or associated with some pack of arseholes. PTSD is a problem transmitted socially. PTSD, post-traumatic stress, problem transmitted socially. So, in other words, an arsehole caused it one way or another. PTSD is the disease of arseholes, where fear from your past comes to get you because of arseholes. Arseholes in your present might play on PTSD from your past to try and make out like the arseholery that's going on in the present was caused by something in the past. Yeah, that's really fucking rude. Yeah, that's extremely rude. Because they're a double arsehole, because they're not are they callous towards whatever you went through in your past, but they're causing you problems in the present, and that is toxic behaviour. Okay, it's easy for people to do. It's also toxic behaviour. Okay, so those two types of fears, like the stuff in your immediate environment and stuff that pissed you off or hurt your feelings in the past, we'll call that reasonable fears. Then there's everything else. In the land of imaginal constructs called the TV, YouTube, and the media, also known as doom scrolling. There's even a name for it, doom scrolling. So, in the land of doom scrolling, okay, we have all kind of amazing things going on right now. Donald Trump's a fascist dictator who staged a coup in the USA. Elon Musk even did a Nazi salute on the stage on Martin Luther King Day, no less, and then he started to gut the Office of Personnel Management. And, of course, all these essential departments lost their funding and their staff, while his personal contracts for billions of dollars were kept, unsurprisingly, as a consequence of the Doji staff members being SpaceX employees and most of them being 20-year-old hackers. Oh, right. So, of course, the kekistocracy, tech bro, incel, tech bro billionaire, hacksaw, fascist coup. Yeah, it's almost like 4chan took over your country. It's fucking outrageous, isn't it? United States, do you ever feel like your country is being run by 4chan? Be honest, do you ever feel like that your administration is actually fucking 4chan? Be sad it were fucking true. It'd be very sad. Anyway. It turns out that the tech bros and the physicists and associated ex-members of the New Atheist movement decided to become fake theosophists and with their powers combined, managed to come up with some AI transhuman agenda where the multiverse became people's heads and got filled with artificial intelligence. And our minds are literally now the internet of bodies. How's that for fucking doom scrolling? If that resonates with any part of your life, now would be a good time to say so. It's sad when doom scrolling is true. It's sad when you have to look up conspiracy theories because well, actually I haven't done it yet, but you have to look up conspiracy theories about say why the stars are in the wrong part of the sky and why other people are noticing. Like why is it right in the west? Um, like where the sun sets. Um, or why did when the stars started to appear in the wrong spot, did it begin with Alpha and Beta Centauri appearing as two UAPs that disappeared, and then the Southern Cross started to appear 45 to 90 degrees in a different direction a couple of nights later? Explain that one. That's not doom scrolling. That's something physical bodies witness together. Now we've got doom scroll extraordinaire. We've got New Ages talking about the end times prophecy of how Pope Francis is the last Catholic Pope that portends the end of the world itself. Shit. But that wasn't a New Ages thing. That was a Catholic thing. They even named their popes after what that Catholic nun allegedly predicted, to fulfill the prophecy, apparently. Well, that's going to work out well for them when about approximately 12 days from now they elect a new pope, which they will. They'll do it. They will, in fact, do it. They will elect a new pope in 12 days. And will that fulfill the prophecy? No. It'll challenge the prophecy. It'll show that it wasn't true. It'll show that a prophecy that the Catholic Church allegedly held dear, the Roman Catholic Church, that is, allegedly held dear for several hundred years apparently, wasn't true. Perhaps the Book of Revelations is a prophecy that the Roman Catholic Church and other groups have held dear or true for nearly 2,000 years. And it also won't come true. Perhaps when you look into the idea of 100-year cycles, for pandemics and recessions and Great Depressions and stuff, it doesn't hold true. There are actually recessions and depressions in economic markets as well as pandemics and epidemics in between that as well. But they don't count. Why don't they count? Because they don't fit confirmation bias, so ignore them, right? No, don't ignore them. They're going to save your sanity. How many times and how many different ways have we doom scrolled or were doom scrolled through the Bible, soothsayers, town criers, newspapers, televisions, radio, and now the internet, into believing that this time it could be the last time. This time it's the end of everything. But it never happens. It never happens. It's not about whether or not reality is worth saving. It's more about it doesn't end. We're stuck in a cycle of being carnate and discarnate over and over again, because that's just how it is. And although there are aliens from outer space, yeah, there are, that can do mirror illusions with light beams or something to make you think that the constellations are in the wrong spot. It doesn't mean the scientists are always lying. They were sincere with their telescopes. They did need data sincerity to be able to pull off any of their stunts, like being able to use the internet at all. So there's what look for the alternate hypothesis, look for the alternate explanation. Save your sanity, and in doing so, save your world. And please, please, watch your fear mongering. We know the Democrats in the United States of America, in particular, as well as the disgruntled MAGAs, have a legitimate cause for concern. The things that they've been saying that's going on in their country are quite frankly despicable, concerning, to say the least. They are within their rights to exercise their Second Amendment and call upon their military and their Marines to uphold their Constitution, quite frankly. Just the allegation that Donald Trump was Agent Khrushchev since 1987 alone should be enough to do so. Even a person with a sort of perhaps anarchist sympathising worldview, maybe it's really subjective and moment to moment worldviews. They can change. They can change quite readily. And it is people, not person. But anyway, you can have the point being is that you can have a worldview that's sort of like hypercritical of governments, but not necessarily supportive of them being fake dismantled, and fake dismantled is the correct term, by some hacksaw idiot on ketamine. You can think that's a bit silly because that means to dismantle an oversized organisation is brute force. It's disorganised behaviour. It's not necessarily in the people's best interests. If you're going to shrink a government or whatever, the purpose should be the liberation of the people and freedom from oppression. It shouldn't be freedom from their right to pay for their groceries or go to the doctor. True story. So, for the Democrats and the disgruntled MAGAs to be upset about it is legit. It's legit. Okay? The thing is, though, is they're carrying on like it's the end of the world. Okay? Their culture is in culture shock. Okay? They're experiencing what it's like to be all the countries that their CIA invaded and overthrew duly elected officials in favour of fascist dictators, such as Pinochet in Chile. Just one example. They know what it's like to be the people of Chile, because a foreign spy agency interfered with their government, and now they have a dictator sitting where a duly elected official should be. Okay? Don't forget, Putin was KGB, and Krasnov is a KGB term. Okay? So, don't think that's automatically going to mean you're going to have purges and horrible Pinochet-like things in the USA. Work towards a different end. But just know this, America. Okay? That's how you made Chile feel. Or more specifically, that's how your CIA made Chile feel. Do you understand? And so, unfortunately, that's karmic. As horrible it is, that's called karmic. You've gotten back what you gave, USA. Please do something about it without scaring the rest of us into thinking we're going to be bombed with nukes by fucking Hitler at the end of the world. The rest of the world does not agree with your biblical shit, with your Masonic shit, or with your fucking acronym agency shit either. Please stop terrorising us. We've had enough. USA, we've had enough. Sincerely, every other country in the world.